What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father at Amazon, Kindle, and Create Space. A link will be in the description box below as usual. This video is entitled Opportunistic Outrage. And I'm off today. I saw Minister Jap was on talking about the Libya situation. Called in, chopped it up a little bit. I'm glad he's good. So if y'all don't know, he's back. Subscribe, be a patron. But one of the things we spoke about was other groups aren't outraged by when they do us dirty. And I think we as a community need to talk about this. And I'm going to give a lot of different references. Going from past to present. In the time of slavery, you know what you really don't see in history books in America? You don't see people outraged about slavery in America. Other groups. Do you see white people outraged about slavery? Were they saying, we got to cut that out? No, they weren't outraged about slavery. Hell, they killed Abraham Lincoln because they felt like what he did ended slavery. You know, and then you deal with it. Okay, so let's do this Reconstruction thing. And when we were doing too good, that's when the lynching and Jim Crow began, or Jim Crow and lynchings really began. Did you see people outraged? I said, yo, these other groups, were they outraged and saying, yo, this is wrong. We can't be doing this to these people. No, they weren't outraged. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because everybody wants us to take on the mantle for justice in America and in the world. But when these other groups do us dirty, because I'm not just about to talk about white people. I'm just going to be honest. You know, when it comes, they're not outraged when things happen to us and their group does it. You understand what I'm saying? They're not outraged. It's not, it's wrong. When they do it, it's not wrong. Everybody gets on code. When the Civil Rights Movement came, you know, everybody opportunistically got outraged because affirmative action came down the pike and it included every other group in it. So they were opportunistic in their outrage because they could see themselves benefiting from it in the long term. And guess what? Don't all these other groups benefit from affirmative action? And initially it was just set up for black men. I'm just going to be honest. That's what it was set up for. Change the name, change the narrative, change the little verbiage in there. That's how everybody else is included. And that's part of the reason why people say things like, we are so inclusive and we include everybody else. They don't include us in their things. When Japanese internment camps, they said that was their struggle and they need to be compensated for that. They didn't include black people in that. Native American reparations, which I think they didn't get enough, but that's just my opinion. They didn't include black people in that. That was their reparations, right? They didn't say, hey, if y'all doing this for us, y'all need to do that for them. They didn't do that. Jewish people. There were black people that got killed in the Holocaust too. Not nearly as many as Jews, but we got killed over there. We got treated. Ask the soldiers who went over there. And the family members of the soldiers who went over there and got treated like second-class citizens from their American non-black counterparts. And Native Americans can tell you the same story, right? They weren't outraged. Hey, we can't do that to our Americans. It wasn't like that. Jews didn't turn around and say, hey, if we're an oppressed people, you're an oppressed people, you're not going to let anything happen to us, we're not going to let anything happen to you. If we go forward, you're coming with us. It wasn't like that. It was opportunistic outrage. Has never been like that. Moving forward, when Martin Luther King, because that's who people use as the figurehead of all this, when he got murdered, people partied in the street. That's what they did. They partied in the street after the Civil Rights Movement was over. These statues, these Confederate statues that people been yanking down and were yanking down and people were going all crazy about, that's causing all these rallies. Those Confederate statues were put up after the Civil Rights Movement. They weren't just hanging around here prior to that. So that should let you know that, people aren't necessarily outraged about our condition out here, right? Now I'm going other places. Now you fast forward more. People weren't outraged about how they did the Black Panthers, but they weren't. But everybody benefited from the things, the lunch program, the school, the Head Start pre-K program that everybody has businesses in now, the clinics and vaccinations. Oh yeah, everybody's cool with all of that. And people are not like, oh, you know what? We need to give credit to where credit's due. People aren't outraged at all of the things that black people invented in this country and created in this country that black people can't make a dime off of. And other people and other groups just walk off with hundreds, maybe even thousands of families' inventions and have become millionaires and billionaires over the years. And this is not this, that happened during slavery, but that also happened from Reconstruction to now. Groups aren't outraged at like, oh, that's bad capitalism. You can't just steal people's ingenuity. These people are picking themselves up by their bootstraps. No, they're not doing that because they're benefiting from it, right? The telling thing was like, people don't remember like Cesar Chavez, right? Muhammad Ali went out there to help whatever he could do to help his Hispanic quote unquote brothers and sisters. Years later, the Hispanic community isn't outraged that black men, boys are looked at as the face of drug dealers in America. But it's a Hispanic community that has been having a stronghold on manufacturing and distributing drugs. Same, you can say that about the Asians, and you can say that about the Arabs. They're not outraged that, man, we're dumping all of these drugs into these black communities and making money hand over fist, and we're getting them blamed for all this crime that we're actually behind. They're not outraged about that. When George Zimmerman killed Trayvon Martin, did you hear the Hispanic community become outraged at George Zimmerman and say, hey, can't be doing that, man? What's wrong with you? You didn't, not a peep. When you saw, when the Asian cop shot the brother in New York, you didn't hear the Asian community say, hey, what are y'all doing? That's dead wrong, man. No, they banded together and they said, you need to let him off just like you let them white cops off. Mind you, people forget about the two black cops who killed the white guy. They're in jail right now. Right? Under the same laws, right? When black lives matter, all lives matter. And then blue lives matter. But you don't hear, but instead of making a different type of slogan, they use the black slogan for everybody, and then they use the black slogan for cops. But do you hear anything when white people kill cops? No. There ain't Blue Lives Matter t-shirt people walking around when white people kill cops. They're only when black people get in shootouts or kill police. And black people are the minority of this. To be perfectly honest. Like I said before, you can make the same argument. Blue lives only matter when black people kill them. You can make the same argument. The situation with Libya. Do you hear Arabs going around being outraged? You can't be selling black people into slavery. What is wrong with y'all? That's dead wrong. They're our brothers. They're our Muslim brothers. They're our people of color brothers. Do you hear that? No, you don't. That's why I said it's opportunistic outrage. Because when other people are doing things, they don't say a word. A word. And we need to stop being so inclusive and thinking it's all good, because it's not. It's not. And like I say all the time, like, as far as having individual friends, absolutely. You can have friends of all kind of races, ethnicities, religions, genders, whatever. But their groups don't like us. And their groups don't say anything when something happens to us. You know, when black children get, quote unquote, raped or sodomized by people in the gay community, does the gay community stand up and say, hey, that's dead wrong? You can't be doing that to people. When they discriminate against black people, does the gay community say that's wrong? No, but they'll say gay is the new black to get the benefits that they think are associated with hopping on the black bandwagon. You know, opportunistic outrage, right? Women, even our own women do this. You know, women's issues are like black issues. But when something happens to black people, and black men in particular, do women speak out? No. Actually, women make campaigns that say black men they're making basically a birth of a nation type of campaign against men, and the black men in particular. You know, when black women, y'all do the same thing. You know, I could check, you know, I'm a double minority. I'm a female and I'm black. Do those black women say, yo, I can't do that to my brothers. I can't be a double minority and get over on and use how this country portrays them for my benefit to get ahead? Do they say that? No, they don't. You know, so we gotta be honest, man, and stop feeling some type of way because we want to show love to everybody. They don't love us. We don't have to show love to everybody. Christians do it too. Oh, love thy neighbor like you would love thyself. When something happens to a black Christian, do these other non-black Christians help their fellow man under the umbrella of Christianity? No. Do they do that under the umbrella of Islam? No. We could be Christian on Christian crime. When the racists come in there, you're on your own. You know, Muslim on Muslim situation. When the racists come in there, you're on your own, right? People don't stand up like that. Jews, people seem to forget that in Israel, they have the Jews from Ethiopia. They just do them dirty, and they're Jews too in Palestine, right? Do other Jews say, "Hey, you can't be doing that to our Jewish brothers"? No, they don't care. They just don't. You know, so we have to really pay attention that these other groups aren't outraged when they do us dirty, but they want us to always be on the front lines fighting for them and their causes because we're all one and we're all the same. Obviously, we're not. Start naming the causes that other groups have championed for themselves that they've included black people in. Don't worry. I'll wait. We out, man.